All right, we are back for the MaxPreps Podcast after taking a week off, getting ready for playoffs. Exactly. Here was Zack, Poff. Zack, we're going to break down some of the toughest playoff brackets you just came out with.
I can't wait, man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. You just came out with the toughest playoff brackets in the country. And, man, there's some tough roads. And we're going to start it off in Texas.
Yeah.
And Texas is no joke. 6A Division II. And thing about Texas, there's 64 teams. So
it's March Madness pretty much, man. I mean, you got to win 6 games. You want to hold up that trophy. It's crazy.
That's over half a regular season if you get all the way to the ship there for sure. Let's start there. The 6A Division II bracket, you got DeSoto in the mix there on the same side of the bracket. You got South Lake Carroll. Yeah. South Lake Carroll's a top 100 team. You also have someone like Summer Creek. Yeah. So this is a tough road. Who are you going with in this bracket?
Yeah, I feel like I'm taking the easy way out here. So obviously we're not going to break down the 64-team field and go round to round. So I'll just kind of look at the semifinals and the finals, see how I see things going. And, you know, 2 teams you brought up there, I think DeSoto and South Lake Carroll are going to play in one semifinal. And the other semifinal, I expect Summer Creek to be there along with Cibolo Steel. Okay. I think Steel is a phenomenal program. They're kind of back to what they used to be. They made it to the sems last year, and I think they'll get back this year. But I think we're going to get a rematch of the 6A D2 title game we saw last year, DeSoto and Summer Creek. And I think DeSoto is going to win it again and make it a three-peat. I don't think it's going to be 70-14 like it was last year. I'd expect Summer Creek to make this a much more competitive game. DeSoto's still a really, really good team, but they're not as good as they were last year. And I think Summer Creek is better this year than they were last year. So I think it'll be a tighter contest. But, I think DeSoto is going to three-peat and win 6A D2 in Texas, which is, one of the toughest brackets to win in the country.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to another Texas bracket here coming up, but we're going to go to back-to-back Georgia brackets. Yeah. We'll start with the 5A bracket. There's 5 teams within the top 100 inside this bracket. You have the big dog in number 2, Milton, playing in there. They got Lee County on the same side of that bracket. On the other side, you got teams like Thomas County Central on that side, as well as Langston Hughes and a few others. So what do you see here? Do you see Milton rolling all the way to a championship? Or it's tough to go against it.
Yeah, Milton's going to be tough to beat. You know, this is a team, they're number 2 in the country, number 2 in the MaxPreps top 25. They've played a bunch of big-time teams this year. Mm-hmm. You know, they got a win over Buford. That's Buford's only loss there in 6A. And they also have a nice win over American Heritage. And that's going to be a heavyweight fight, though, in the 5A semifinal, because I expect them to play Lee County. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a great game because Lee County is a team. They're currently at number 27, just outside of the top 25. I would expect they'll probably be in the top 25 if they meet them in the semifinals. But I just think Milton's too loaded on both sides of the ball. So I think that'll be one semifinal. And, man, the other one's tough, but I think it's going to be Gainesville and Langston Hughes in the other semifinal, and I think we'll get a rematch of Milton and Gainesville. These two played earlier during the regular season, and I'd expect the same outcome. I think Milton's going to win this 5A bracket, and they're going to, I think they're riding a 20-game winning streak going into the playoffs, so they play their best football when it's the bigger moments, and I think they're going to shine in the playoffs here and have a real chance to finish the year at number 1 if Mater Dei loses.
Hey, we'll get to them later here in a little bit. The 6A division in Georgia is no joke either. Yeah. 9 teams within the top 100. You got Carrollton and Buford on the same side of the bracket. Yeah, that could be a real good one. And also on the same side as North Gwinnett. I mean, there's some good squads. Like I said, 9 teams within the top 100.
Yeah, so, obviously I think it's pretty obvious Carrollton and Buford are the 2 teams I'm going to pick in that one semifinal, which is really the state championship game in my opinion.
They're on the same side.
Yeah, I'll make it easy. That's who I'm going with on that side of the semifinal. The other one, I think there's a lot of options here, but I think Douglas County is a team. They've played some big-time programs. They're only 2 losses this year, Carrollton and Buford. Yep. And then I think Grayson's going to make a run. They dropped their season opener by 1 point to Collins Hill. They've won every game since. And I was going back and forth before we were shooting this. I'm like, who am I going to pick in this game? I switched it 3 times, but I'm going with Douglas County. I think Douglas County just got too many dudes on both sides of the ball. Okay. I love Tyler Atkinson, though, for Grayson. He's arguably the best linebacker in the country. He's only a junior, but this is a guy who's been just balling since he was a freshman. I wouldn't be surprised if he led Grace into the state championship game because he leads the way for a very talented defense. But I think we're going to get Douglas County. I think we're going to get Carrollton. And I think Jordan Lewis is going to lead Carrollton to their first state title since 1998. And I just think the way he's playing, the offense is playing, they got a great secondary. Carrollton's a very, very good football team, and I think they're going to win the 6A state title this year in Georgia.
All righty, let's go to Texas. Let's go back to Texas, 6A Division I. You got Dunkville and North Shore on opposite sides of the bracket.
Yeah,
that's good.
They played in the state championship game 5 of the last 6 years. It's crazy.
That is crazy. You have North Crowley, Allen on Duncanville's side. You got Atascocita, you got Westlake, you got Lake Travis on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's no easy road to get to the finals. But are we seeing another rematch here?
I'm going chalk here, man. Okay, I think we're going to get it 6 out of the last 7. But I tell you what, man, North Shore is going to have a tough road because they're going to have to get by most likely Atascocita in the quarterfinals to just get to the semifinals. And Atascocita was very, very close to beating North Shore earlier in the season, and that was pretty much without Torrey Blaylock, who we saw last week. He's looking healthy, so that's going to be a tougher game for North Shore the second time around. So, but I still think North Shore, they've just had Atascocita's number, and I think they're going to beat them again. I think it would be the 9th straight time if they do beat them again. And then I'd expect them to play Austin Westlake in the semifinal. I think Austin Westlake is clearly the best team in that region. I think Lake Travis will be their toughest test, but Westlake beat them during the regular season. They've had good success over Lake Travis as of late, and I think that'll continue. I can't wait for the other semifinal if this game comes to fruition. You got Duncanville, obviously, and North Crowley. This would be a great game. Both ranked in the top 10. Duncanville's number 3, North Crowley's number 10. Both great offenses. I think this would be a big boy football game, and this will be one of the best games the entire season. North Crowley's playing outstanding football. Quentin Gibson, man, this dude's a touchdown machine at wide receiver. Keelan Russell's playing, as good as any quarterback's played over the last 10 years at the high school level. So that would be a fun matchup. But I'm going Duncanville for the three-peat. I think they'll beat North Crowley, and then I think they'll beat North Shore in the state title game. I just think Keelan with those weapons, with DeCorian Moore, Zack Turner, list goes on and on with these guys. I just think Duncanville's locked in right now, and they're playing great football, and I'd expect them to three-peat along with DeSoto for 6A D2.
All right, let's go to California. We got the CIF Southern Section Division I bracket, and there's
crazy bracket.
There's 8 games with this. There's 2 play-in games as well. But this bracket's just absolutely just loaded. All 8 teams are big-time national title-type contenders, and they're playing in Southern California. You got Mater Dei this week against Sierra Canyon. You got Centennial, Mission Viejo, Orange Lutheran, J. Sarah, Santa Margarita, St. John Bosco. All those games are good.
The crazy thing is, you got these 64-team brackets. You got these 32-team brackets. This one is 10, and it's the only bracket in the entire country where they had 10 teams ranked in our top 100.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And, these quarterfinal matchups are all big-time matchups. I think Mater Dei is just going to be too much in the trenches for Sierra Canyon. I'd expect them to win that game. And then they'll play the winner of Mission Viejo, Corona Centennial. This was kind of the same thing with Grace and Douglas County going back and forth. Corona Centennial's hot right now. They're on a heater right now. Husan Longstreet's playing great football. He's got a bunch of guys to get the ball to. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. This could be whoever has the ball last wins game. I'm going Mission Viejo, though.
Okay.
I think Vance Spafford's going to be a tough guy to cover. I think Mission Viejo's got enough weapons on offense to get it done. And they got Jaden Williams coming off the edge. This guy has like 24 sacks this year. I think he's going to find a way to get a big sack, force a fumble, and create a key turnover. That's going to be the difference for the Diablos. So I'd expect Viejo and Mater Dei to play in one semifinal. The other semifinal, man, I'm telling you, man, I think St. John Bosco Santa Margarita is going to be a great game on Friday. Santa Margarita is a different team when Trent Mosley plays. They're 5-2 when he plays. They got Jonas Smith also back. He's only played in 2 games this year. He transferred from Mater Dei. So they're healthy at the right time. They looked great last week against Inglewood. They put up 59 points on the board. And when they played Bosco earlier this year, it was scoreless going into the 4th. Yeah, it was a tight game. So I think we're going to get another close one, but I do think Bosco is going to find a way to win. Koa Mala'ulu, freshman quarterback, He's been nice this year. He got a great receiving core. And then I think Orange Lutheran will beat J. Sayre Catholic for the second time this year. I think it'll be a close game. I'd expect all quarterfinal games to be close outside of Mater Dei Sierra Canyon. And then I think Bosco is going to beat Olu. I think Mater Dei is going to beat Mission Viejo. Here we go again. Mater Dei Bosco rematch. And I think Mater Dei is going to go 2-0 against St. John Bosco for the first time since 2017. And I think they're going to – and Mater Dei is the best team in the country. I don't see anybody beating them, so I think they're going to win the toughest bracket in the country.
All right, I got some bulletin material for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Mission Viejo in the final.
Oh, wow.
Against Orange Lutheran.
Oh.
Mission Viejo pulls out the victory.
So you're
and then De La Salle beats Mission Viejo.
Oh my gosh! If that happens, man, it's like, wow, where do I put De La Salle ranked at the end of the season, man? So
if that happens, rewind this, cut it up. If it doesn't, delete it.
I'm gonna laugh now when De La Salle loses to Pittsburgh in the Open North Coast section game. And we both picked Viejo to beat Centennial, so that's probably where they're going to end the season. But we'll see, man.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if that happens, and it'd probably be good to get a little fresh blood because it's been Mater Dei or Bosco pretty much outside of the 1 year with Noah Fafita and Tetero and McMillan when Servite made it to the section championship game.
I tell you what, I want to put my life on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think you were, man. Yeah.
No. All right, before we go, give us one other sleeper bracket that 6 through 10 that you really like.
Yeah. Hey, I was getting a little flack for this, and that's North Carolina 4A.
Okay.
And the main reason why this took the number 10 spot was because obviously, North Carolina doesn't get a lot of love, but this is a big-time bracket. You got Weddington, who's a tremendous football team. You've got Grimsley, who has the number 1 rated prospect in the class of 2026 at quarterback. And then you also got teams like Huff, Mallard Creek. This is a big boy bracket, and the tiebreaker for me why this got over, Texas 5A, D1, it has all the best teams in the state in the same bracket, and it's also a 64-team field where, Alabama 6A, Louisiana Division I Select, those are some big-time brackets, CIF Southern Section D2. But this one, I think this is going to be big boy football, and you're going to see whoever wins this bracket have a good chance to jump in the top 25 at the end of the season because this is one of the toughest in the country to win, and it being a 64-team field makes it even better.
It way tougher.
Yeah, that's my sleeper bracket, North Carolina 4A.
Man, we got some good football ahead of us for the next month or so.
Yeah.
Really look forward to it. We'll be back on the podcast breaking it all down.
Hey, I got to give a shout-out to Orion Yates, sophomore quarterback at CVU, our Vermont Player of the Year. So we got 3 more coming out next week. We got the Dakotas and Wyoming. So, yeah, it's been fun, doing a lot of research, figuring out who the top dog in these states are. So looking forward to those ones coming out next week as well. So we'll be dropping these every week after each state finishes. So it's going to be a busy time here the next 6 weeks, but the best time of the year.
It is, and basketball's here as well. Yeah. So it's that time of the year for sure. All right, best of luck to all those playing. We'll be back next week. Zack, Poff, Steve Montoya, thanks for tuning in to the MaxPreps Podcast.